Hey, you guys, it's MJ from Alta Love. How are you? I felt really inspired to talk about spiritual awakening and arrogance. Arrogance is something we're sort of systematically taught in a mental way, like mental knowing, logic, rationale, think, therefore I am. A lot of the system as we know it is an imbalanced kind of, so like the world that we've created is sort of an imbalanced perspective because it's based in fear and separation. The imbalanced perspective kind of takes the shape on a physical level as male domination, but it's not a gender war at all anymore at this point. It's purely just energy and realizing that we can either have a whole unified perspective or a divide and conquer perspective, a kind of separation consciousness perspective, right? And what I'm seeing are these subtle layers as the awakening continues is like, and I resonate with it because this is like a huge part of my path is that we have these, hello, sweet person. We have these spiritual awakenings and we often go down this sort of like ego tangent because the wisdom and the knowledge is so deep and profound and it kind of unlocks this inner knowing. But then I guess because the way we're kind of programmed to be in the world, like, we have to prove ourselves. You got to make it happen. You have to be important. You have to be recognized. You have to fit into this world, that world, or the other world. And, climb our way up the fucking social ladder, climb our way, we're never good enough in that world. And so we're actually kind of always proving ourselves. And so when we have spiritual awakenings, we often default into this like inner arrogance, like I'm a little bit better than all these little minions that don't have the spiritual wisdom. But then if you're earnest in your spiritual path, I know Bob Marley, if you're earnest in your spiritual path, which I have been, your ego shit will continue to blindside you. So any sense of arrogance for me around like money or around even my own knowing and truth, certainly when it comes to like talking to other people, it's like being completely transparent where I really don't know any truth for you. I don't have any answers for you. Because I don't naturally have a desire to control and manipulate people or to get anything from people. My desire is to manifest the life of my dreams. And the more I focus on that, the less time I have to focus on other people's dreams. And so other people's worlds are their responsibility. And then, but I'm still seeing this angle of, white supremacy, guys. I know it's kind of harsh and in no way do I want to like attack a whole race of people, but like, there's like sort of a systematic, like, again, in the middle classes or in some of the kind of, those kind of weird middle classes in the white Western world where this might sound weird to some of you, but like, where rich people are awful, but then like the poor people are disgusting, and like us middle class, we're the right ones, or like we're a little bit better, or like I don't know. It's all so messed up because people just kind of unconsciously try to protect their ego, which means they're kind of trying to protect the story they've been telling about who they are. And the deeper I go with the energy work, you can just penetrate people's veils. And so you can start to feel into like people have all of this confusion and self-loathing. And this is another harsh one, but like men and women alike, we have a lot of hatred toward each other. There's a lot of fear and corrupted hatred between the sexes. And like, we don't want to admit that we're competing with each other. We don't want to admit that we don't want to admit even when we really feel something or love something or cherish something, we just want to pretend like we're too cool for school or like we're too cool to feel, and then even as we embrace all of this feeling stuff, hello, Mickey Bites. I get it in poor LOL. I'm not laughing at your of that. I just love you guys, which is why I'm like, it's always nice to see you here. And I'm increasingly like say this with as much love and compassion as possible, but like increasingly kind of like nauseated by like, I don't know, like how much lies people live with, how much like energetic density people just live with, and like want to continue to deny. I'm just like, what the actual F is going on? Full disclosure, so we know it's really going down, right? I know. And this is Gypsy River Woman. Whoop whoop. I think this is so legit. Is like we're communicating invisible awarenesses right now, and yet there's a whole bunch of stuff happening that the collective hasn't yet seen, that lid's gonna blow right open, right? Again, like our intergalactic heritage, our interstellar potential, our like cosmic origins, all of that kind of stuff, let alone like some of the deeper, darker secrets of the system that we live in. And then how those people who are still trying to like uphold the facade, when those lids get lifted, oh my God, the whole facade's going to blow right open. And then they're going to be like, oh shit, you know, like I can't hide from this anymore. Exactly. And ringing in your ears, Websy Wangi. I literally last night, I have been getting the ringing for like a while now, but obviously we tune in and out of it. And last night it was like, I had a moment where I was like, oh, yep, there it is. There it is. Among other things, like just a lot of like high vibrational stuff, and then like more purging of like denser levels of like rejection, abandonment, again, like ridicule, like lot of that kind of stuff's been coming out, like total cringe and shame stuff as well. But there again, the polarity is that, again, I'm feeling more clear, more honest, more happy, more kind of like aligned in my own integrity, which is like, having not been there for most of my life, it's so much nicer being in this space than in that icky space of unawareness and unconsciousness, and like, not, pardon me, like thinking that we have to hide all of the shame and hatred and guilt and like weirdness and awkwardness, and thinking that we're the only ones who have all the shittiness, and then like popping the lid open and being like, oh my God, everyone has a bunch of shit that they just don't want to deal with. And so we kind of play games with people. And I guess the supremacy or the arrogance that I'm picking up on are just like encounters I'm having with people who like, I don't know, like think of themselves as one way, but then like their behavior doesn't line up. And then somehow it gets twisted. And yet again, it's like my issue and like my lack and my behavior that's, you know, and I'm just like, ugh. And I'm also really not down with the arrogance around all the spiritual awakening mumbo jumbo, and like, and like the evolution and stuff, and us as beings having any arrogance whatsoever around spiritual awakening, spiritual transformation, or the evolution of our consciousness, because it's happening now and has been happening since the dawn of effing time, because evolution is just a natural cyclical process of life. Us thinking that we're actually dictating it as individuals, or that it waits for us to be a part of it, I'm like, that's arrogance. It's like years ago, again, being on the earnest path of all this self-love coaching and deeper yogic transformation and all of this, and having two of my like best friend, bestie, mother, and like spiritual mentor all around me, when I'm like talking about fixing some shit from some other person, they're like, whoa, that's like arrogant. And it hit me so hard. And I was like, God damn it, you're right. Like me and my little brain eye thinking that I can fix the world, or that it's my responsibility to change people or fix people, is an arrogant, egoic projection of self, still harboring little bits of unworthiness, because if I could just fix everything outside of me, then I'll feel better, right? Then I'll feel like a valid human being, instead of drop deeper within myself and find the new nugget, the new gay, find the find the nuggets of love, right? Ringing in ears, yeah, I heard that to do with third chakra, which is our power center. I also hear singing a lot. Throat chakra. For me, throat chakra is mega active. Heart is super active. Watching over me, but I think it's the I'm in Aries, chica. I'm an ascendant Capricorn and moon Virgo. Very sort of dominant earth energy, and then most of my life has been the very obvious Aryan move forward, cardinal sign, impulsive, a little bit temperamental as well, and completely foolish, by the way. Like all of my transformational cycles, I've literally lost everything. I'm like, it's not this, so I'm gonna go this way. And then blah, life just goes like crazy. And then I'm like, broken. Hence the like continual brokenness, which is why I'm pretty humbled and empty most of the time. And I really don't want to dictate to people because I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. The times when I thought I did know, I don't know that shit no more. So I'm just going to keep showing up, be like, guys, have you heard that life is fucking insane? Yeah. Hello, Nestor Bologna. Very true. When you fix within, you help to fix without. So that's the truth of it, right? Like, this is why I get this whole thing of like, these spiritual circles is like, it's all like murky, right? Because we actually, you guys will probably get this, but like we can often like leech onto people's insecurities and like use them to feed our own, and like that's codependency, right? We have these relationships, and that's something I'm pioneering in my with team love, is like working in team but as sovereign human beings. So like always owning our own personal shit, being aware of not putting shit onto people. As like the company director, I'm aware when I'm working with Katie as my partner, it's like, we don't work if we're triggered. We don't work if we're not in the flow. That's our responsibility as conscious creators, to be in alignment with the truth of our knowing when we're flowing and working and sharing and creating, right? Otherwise, we have shit to process and shit to deal with. Why? Because we don't want to control, manipulate people. We don't want to use marketing tactics to try to sell shit to you guys. We just want to create good, valuable products that we love from our hearts, that we think are impactful and positive, and then let the flow of life guide us in our life's journey so that it reflects back to us the truth of our own alignment. Not so that we can make people feel bad about themselves so that they buy more of our shit, or buy my healing practice, or buy my yoga. It's special. No. We're not special because we're the same. We're all one with unique points of attraction. It's really in our uniqueness that is our juice, our joy, our new energy, right? Our new code is just us embracing the totality of our uniqueness, but in union with other, which means like, shit, if somebody makes me feel something, I gotta like work with that. I gotta like see what that is to then rise above it. And that's something I'm like finally learning how to do, is like not just like bend over, like look at something, be like, what is this? What is that? What is that? And like, honestly, if there's lack of clarity, if I'm not sure, I'm allowed to just be like, well, I don't know. You know, like unless people communicate honestly with integrity from that clear channel place, everything else is just assumption. Really, how we interact with people is mostly based on our own assumption, based on our own past programming. And like, if anything, some of my like rah is coming from like how aware and how self-responsible I've been most of my life. But I've just been in these weird abusive cycles where people make me feel like shit about myself and make me doubt myself. But then that's still been part of my own learning as a conscious creator, where I'm like suddenly like, oh, hold the phone. I don't have to be responsible for you and your behavior. Oh, wait, like, I don't have to do what you tell me to do. That is fucking liberating, right? Like I can just be who I am and share how I want to share. I have Aries in my Mars. I don't know what's in my Mars, but I'm a Pisces rising. Hello, that's lovely. Piscean energy I find is like quite like resonating with me. I don't know, the soft water, where like some scorpionic energy is more in like my past. I've had some of my deepest, most brutal lessons from Scorpios. And again, I'm like super duper grateful, but I'm like, like the energy now, I'm just like, they're so deep and twisted that I'm like, I never want to go back into that energy again. Hence, like, again, just showing up to share more every day, because I'm writing out some like intense triggers, but at the same time, like my behavior is changing quickly. I'm suddenly not bending to people or pandering to people or making excuses for people. It's like, dude, this is you, this is me, like deal with it. But like, it's the honesty and communication, really. It's like being able to be honest, consistent, and like keep showing up, where people don't can't do that. I don't know why I have to keep making excuses for people, right? Or why, and this is my thing as well, like my past, again, with like that slight passive aggressive tendency, or that like weird not knowing where I stand with people, but like always wanting to be a good girl, always wanting to show up for people, always want to make people feel happy about stuff, because that's how I'm going to be valuable in the world. And then realizing that people like puppetry, they like use that shit, right, to basically lord over us until we're like until that we're being head fucked to the point where we literally can't survive in that environment anymore, and then we break free. But my little is a Scorpio. Hey, loves. Hey, John Beatty. How do you think of Lady Ash's prediction of the event later coming this week? I don't know. I haven't looked at it, but I will have a look at it. Clear vibrations. Oh my God. See, you guys, like, I knew I needed to go live today because I just basically, so part of my like pattern, my daily routine is waking up every morning, usually do a little meditation, put some maquillage on, make myself feel beautiful before going live for you guys. But then often, many mornings, I actually have, I talk to my mother who lives on the west coast of Canada. So I talk to my mom like a lot of mornings when I have time. And we just like, like talk about the patriarchy and like talk about like, the burden, like, and all this kind of stuff. But then transformation and like rising up and not tolerating and like stepping into our power and, you know, all of these beautiful things. And then I'm all juiced up basically to share with you guys. I know. This is the thing, right, Cutter? This is the thing that I'm totally like facing up against when it comes. Perhaps this is all part of the Venus retrograde, though, guys. Is like I'm suddenly like, oh, man, like I've really been. It's like I've been. I could get emotion. Watch out. It's like I've been trained to just accept the short end of the stick. Oh, it's okay. I'll just give of myself for free. Oh, it's okay. You could do it. Oh, it's okay. Okay. Just be nice all the time. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, you're meant to do spiritual shit for free. Oh, yeah, you're meant to do. I'm like, wow. So I'm just meant to kind of keep giving freely and joyfully and may everybody feel good. But it's totally acceptable for the world to just fucking shit on me. And now I'm suddenly like waking up to it, being like, whoa. Oh my God, girlfriend, you love yourself. You don't let yourself get shat on. Like that's not what love is. And that's all the like the convolution of the world is being like, no. Don't question me. Don't look deeper. Don't believe in yourself because I just want you to buy shit. Just keep fucking buying shit that I'm going to tell you is going to make you feel better, but it's never actually going to make you feel better. But as long as you're all just buying shit, everything is fine. But it's not. As in, we know deep down that all of this incessant buying and consuming is actually like destroying our souls. Like it's making us totally forget our epicness, our awesomeness, our ability to create, our ability to evolve, our ability to grow, our ability to be quantum manifestors. I mean, guys, this is legit awesome shit from like the days of Magdalene and Jesus fucking Christ. No, I shan't put the potty mouth in there, but you know what I'm saying? The Christhood, like this is divine. This is epic, divine, beautiful stuff. The rising of divine feminine to embrace and hold the divine masculine within us all. After all the pain and all the brutality, we're healing and we're rising up, and it's epic beyond any fantasy movie, for sure. The world's shitting on me too. See, this is just the juice of life. This is why I gotta share, because I love you guys, and because suddenly there's this community of people who are like, you understand as well the intensity of this life path where you've just been like shat on and judged loads, and you're like, I'm sorry, I don't know, I'm not sure what I'm doing, and then suddenly like going inward, and eventually you're like, oh, I knew stuff. Guys, we all know stuff, but we're told not to believe. But it's true. Like, this inner world is as true or more true than the outer world, and we're all taught to not believe the inner world, but it's more true. And see, it gets kind of confusing, but this is why you have to think less and feel more, because the vibrational feelings is how we start discerning, how we start deducing, and how we start basically picking the matrix apart until, oh, there's no matrix left and we're just new coded humans having rewired our electrical pathways, and now we can vibrate on higher frequencies and live in more harmony with self and other, because it's the same thing, because we're not perceiving through this scary limited world. You know, we're looking at that fear and going, hold on, okay, I can transform that. Yep, it doesn't have to be there. It doesn't. That fear doesn't have to be there, but holy shit, it's triggered in us because that fear in humanity actually serves some beings' agenda. But those beings are low vibration, and they're not as powerful as they make themselves out to be. You guys are way more powerful. I'm more powerful than all of that shit. But it's beautiful, and I do love it. And gosh, what a fun old fucking video game this has been. But I don't want to play the dark forces anymore. I'd rather just be in the light. Queen of the highway, baby. Yep, me too. I love you guys. The retrograde been horrible. I'm trying to move forward in life, but spirit. Yeah. Do you use fluoride-free toothpaste? I do, actually. I've been using fluoride-free for about 5 years now. Although, Katie as well, you guys know we've launched the Zero Waste course, eh? You can buy it if you want. But in the Zero Waste course, it's actually like she makes her own. And then there's other companies who do like not just fluoride-free toothpaste, but plastic-free. And look at me, I'm now looking at my teeth. Plastic-free and chemical-free. What's the name of the brand? The brand I've been using, again, guys, I'm doing the course, so please don't hold me accountable for not being zero waste. Let me show you, just a sec. This is my like travel. Guys, like I'm in my PJs. It's literally 6 in the morning in England right now. But this is my life. This is the brand I use, and my last purchase I got in bulk of like I think 6 containers. It's called Aloe Dent, and it's a whitener. Because I am not a squeaky clean yogi. I don't live any kind of perfection at all. I just drink coffee and eat whatever I want whenever. I am a vegan though. I'm a vegan, and I don't actually drink alcohol, but I do other things. I just, like, alcohol really damn near killed me and fucked me up large. I always look at other people drinking being like, oh, it's so civilized. Let's just have a drink of alcohol. That's what alcohol. I would just be one of those girls who'd, like, drink 2 drinks, be like, woo! And then black out, and then be like, oh my God, what happened to me? And everyone is, like, trying to be like, drinking, yay, it's so fun. I'm like, is it? I'm scared. I don't know what it does to me. And then I just realized, actually, I'm better off without. To each their own, right? Today I spent 2 hours sensations feeling my emotions. This really sucks. Truth, kindness, you are loved. And this is the juice of life. This is why I wrote a book about it. Because I read some other books that made me think that love and light was this sort of rainbow fairy tale, and that I just need to stay positive. But then, you know, you're like, okay, vibration, emotion, energy, emotion. So the energy's there. And then you start to really look at the emotional field and you're like, boom, boom. You're like, oh my God, a whole bunch of our depth has been denied. And there's so much denied depth that I call it the karmic backlog. There's a fair amount of depth for us to penetrate if we want to rise. It's like science. It's pure science. You can't expand without grounding down. You can't. A tree can't get bigger and bigger unless its roots are growing deeper and deeper into the ground. As beings, conscious beings, we can't become better manifestors in our pulling power unless we're embodied, which means people who deny their emotions, they're not manifesting for shit or they're just going around in patterns because they're not penetrating. They're not shifting any vibration or clearing any vibration. Or the way I see it is like those emotional storms where we really drop into that vortex and waves of emotion kind of clear out and purge. You guys use the word purge sometimes. That experience is alchemy or an alchemical transformational experience where like literally you're storming to the point that all of your little cells are uplifting. They're getting lighter. You're whatever whatever the emotion is that we're sitting with and breathing through rather than just reacting and making it about everybody else and everything else. So the more we just sit with that emotion, it clears out and it literally it transforms the cells of our beingness, hence the ascension and or age of enlightenment or whatever. And being here in this country, I found people just be like, who do you think you are? Like, how dare you that you couldn't be right? That's not right. No. I don't need to deal with my shame. I'm just going to keep projecting it onto you. And I'm just like, so we're in more big transformational times, right? Because this is like any of our wars that have been perpetuated. It's that classic thing of like silence or good people staying silent. And I'm seeing that and I can't tolerate that. Like people who talk about spiritual mumbo jumbo all the time, but then in the face of feeling something uncomfortable, they don't want to face it. They just want to make it somebody else's fault. Like they go right back into victimhood. And I'm just like, okay, I can't align with that energy anymore. I can't align with people pointing fingers or people constantly making how they feel my fault always. I'm just like, trust me, I've got enough of my own faults to deal with. I've got enough of my own bullshit to deal with and to try to go around telling everybody else how to deal with theirs because I don't know. All I get is the whole meditation bit and the breathing through. Meditation absolutely helps. Hey, girlfriend. You guys, good morning. Boom, boom, boom. Light to you, truth, kindness, and John Beanie. Lots of love to you both. And this is, again, you guys, this is part of me sharing. Like, I'm in a pretty happy-go-lucky mood this morning because I've had a proper, like, venting out about, like, not tolerating the bullshit, basically, and, like, being really goddamn tired of people just putting stuff on me, being like, oh, my God. All those assumptions, like, all you need to do is ask. All you need to do is ask a bloody question instead of make all these assumptions about life and other people. This is something as well. This is about like arrogance, right? Knowing, like, I know what's right. And then again, having had a spiritual awakening when I was 19, so almost 20 years ago. So 20 years on this weird, fucked up spiritual journey. And I can honestly say your arrogance will keep getting knocked out of you. Anything we think we know will get knocked out of us. If we're truly endeavoring manifestation, like in our highest potentiality, like arrogance is low level. Arrogance is a weird thing that mentally we're all taught to kind of be a bit arrogant. And again, what I'm saying is that it kind of comes with spiritual awakening in our system, because anything that can make us feel a bit special. So, you know, because I was so down on myself inside, so much depth, so much self-loathing. You know, I was one of those kids who attempted suicide and like could barely deal with school and was anorexic and then bulimic and then started partying. And, you know, I just hated myself. So when I had my spiritual awakenings, well, firstly, it fucked me up huge, but then I found Eckhart Tolle, right? And I was like, Eckhart, boom. But then I kind of had this weird edge of thinking, like inwardly, kind of thinking I was better than other people because I had this like knowledge and this wisdom. And then I got into some more shitty toxic patterns, which is part of why patterns as deep spiritual practice and transformation is how we can unlock ourselves, is that we have to recognize certain patterns that we're in. And that's not always obvious to everybody, which is why no one else can tell you, because you're the only one who can be aware of the patterns that you're in, that you're wanting to shift in your life. So there's themes and challenges we all have, but they're not the same as everybody else. Again, which is where we have these paradoxes of just focus on you, just be conscious of you, right? Just listen inward, notice your patterns and look at shifting them. Because in my experience, when we're in toxic patterns, they will get worse and worse and worse. The suffering patterns will get worse and worse and worse. So for me, I don't know if you guys know this, but like for me, one of my deepest, darkest patterns, it started with rape, gang rape, and then it ended 8 years later with having an abortion because I didn't know who the father was. And I was in a relationship with a guy, like a decent guy. And that's heavy duties, you guys. Like, and I know, and I have no judgment. This is why I have no judgment around people at all, because like, I've been both. I've been a shitty human, a bitchy, horrible human. And I've been somebody who's been victimized and villainized and shat on too, but I don't have judgment against either polarity because I realize we're all one. We're all in it together. We can both be as shitty and dark and bitchy as the light love queen. It just depends on where we're at, or point of attraction, what lessons we're learning with the people that we're learning them with, right? So there's really, really no judgment, but those patterns get worse and worse and worse until our own threshold just like breaks everything apart. And then we go, okay, hold up. And then depending on our life cycles, we'll be working on love and relationships, or we'll be working on our bodies, or we'll be working on money, or we'll be looking on, like we'll have all these different areas to work on. But arrogance never serves us. Ego never really serves us. Ego is something that will constantly be hit out of us. So you can honestly say that me being poor, broken, and having that situation, which was like the abortion and like having that really fucked up relationship, was so far away from like how my ego wanted to project out like this good girl and like I'm so lovely and da 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 da, and then the truth of my reality is that. And so that disparity was big enough that I was just like, I literally begged some friends to give me money, and I had a good friend who was coming to my yoga classes at the time. Yeah, this is during my yoga training as well. Who was like, go. You need to go to India. You need to get clean. You need to get clear. And I did. And these people and this yoga saved my life. Like the yoga journey in the last 10 years has been the lifeline that's helped me get to this channel where I'm like actually expressing the authenticity of my heart, which this is part of like the big cycle around, is that when I had my early awakenings when I was 19, this is all I wanted to do. Like all I wanted to do then was just share from my heart, but I didn't know how. And it was like, and obviously there were some much deeper lessons that I need to learn, a lot to do around arrogance and ego and us as beings. Like, I know stuff, therefore I know more than you. I'm whatever, right? And we don't realize how quickly we judge and snap, and we don't realize how much resentment and jealousy and like competition and comparison we have against each other. And I can honestly say a lot of my craziness was actually like this deep, dark shit I have towards men. I'm sorry. I don't like expressing it because it's kind of painful, but like in me, just as a girl in the world, as a being in the world, there's like really deep, dark stuff around being silenced and persecuted and raped and all this stuff. And I don't want to personally attack men or make men feel bad about how I feel, but like, there's loathing and hatred, and it's not unwarranted necessarily. But as long as we can express and be heard and seen and witnessed, like I believe we can get through any of this. But I'm also not at a place where I'm going to put up with people's arrogance, and I'm going to put up with people making excuses for shitty behavior anymore. That's what I've done most of my life. I'll just continue to be nice to people, but make excuses for them being kind of shitty to me. When really the honesty is like all you usually need to harmonize or find resolution is like a genuine, heartfelt apology. Vulnerability and honesty, like that goes a long way when it comes to actually finding harmony, but not make excuses and you did this, but I did this. You're like, listen, could you just say my behavior was shit and I hurt you? Because that's what I've had to do in my life to find peace and harmony from within myself, is just put my hands up totally like a big dickhead and be like, wow, I'm shit. I'm a really horrible human, and I'm just going to face that horribleness and try to make myself a better human. And that's like where I am. It's every day. It's just like, I'm just going to try to be a better human and try to get my work done. I have work. I have service to provide. That's part of surrender and spiritual awakening, you guys, is like, as a 19-year-old girl, I was so broken already, so broken, that those moments were just me on my knees crying, possibly a little bit drunk or on drugs, but crying in the depths of my being like, I don't know how to live properly. I don't know how to fit in. So please just show me. I would die today if I could take away the suffering of the world. Like, that's what surrender is, right? And an earnest spiritual sense is me looking at all of this crazy shit and being like, I can't do it alone. I haven't got a fucking clue how to actually do it. So just show me. Take my life. Take my life. That's what service is. And I know that it might seem kind of martyrdom, but it's not like that, because you're still just like a normal human shopping and doing things in the world. But the deeper depths of my person is that I've had lots and lots of these moments where I've just been like crying on a street corner or like in the middle of some country far away where I'm just like, like I don't know how to live the way the world taught me how to live. And so I'm just like, just use my aliveness for something that's useful to people, because there's a whole bunch of shit that I just don't think is that useful to people. I know our families are like, are some of our biggest teachings, right? I find forgiving myself is the hardest thing. Oh, and trying to figure out what I'm trying and figuring out what I'm lying to myself, right? Subtleties. It's all subtle and it's all like discerning, hence the discipline of meditation and spiritual energy work. Speechless. My family thought I was crazy since I woke up a year ago. Then they weren't, but they get it. I'm happier. Yeah, most of them, like, if we just kind of stick to ourselves and then be happier, they're like, that's like my family, so they just accept my happiness. Some of them are totally on board. Some of them, I'm just like a big weirdo. That's fine too. Family, somebody said family's overrated. I agree, certainly within the kind of nuclear family, like that kind of systematic American dream, like, oh, we're one big happy family, or this is how families should behave at Christmas, and this is how families should da. And we're all supposed to fit in to this family construct, and if we don't, we're a big fat dysfunctional family, right? Like, and so a lot of us in families try to keep up the facade of this is our family, but actually are hiding, bottling all the dysfunction, right? Hence some of us weirdos who broke free from that. And again, all of us have different, like, I'm somebody who grew up with like the kind of perfect, so-called, of course, it's never what it seems, but like a lot of the friends that I grew up with and was tight with growing up, had like the perfect nuclear family setups, mom and dad, 2 other brothers or sisters, or like one other brother or sister and a dog. And like, they lived well, very middle class, very like, hardworking mom and dad work and, good standing in society in the matrix. And I never could fit into that matrix. And plus both my parents were adopted. Plus I was like one of my only friends whose parents were divorced. So I had that weird kind of disparity of I'm a weirdo and I don't fit in, but I'm going to try to fit in. But like at home, things are really tough because mom was a sensitive like most of us, but 30 years ago where it wasn't nearly as accepted. And so she was just depressed, hardcore depressive. And so my sister and I would just, and that's something as well. When I broke free from the idea of family because I was like, I don't have what people call family in the same way. I love my sister. I love my dad. I love my mom, but it's all broken apart and it doesn't look like how people tell me it's supposed to look. So i.e. me at 19 being like, where's the new paradigm? Where are the people who fucking give a shit? Where are the people who love the world? Where are the people who want to see a better, more loving world and who actually believe it can exist? Not the people who are like, oh, you're lovely with all of your love ideas, but the world is a sick and dark place. Excuse me? We're creators. Are we just going to continue to choose to perpetuate a shitty, sad world, or are we going to endeavor to make it better? In my endeavoring to make it better, what I realize is that within ourselves, we have to face all these different layers of the darkness that we see out there, and that is uncomfortable. That is painful. And in a very simple way, that's kind of what people don't want to do, which a lot of us have been doing most of our lives, where we just sit here for hours going, ah! We cry it out, we burn it out. It's like some scar or some scar. Anyway, in the Indian tradition, or not the Indian tradition, but the yogic tradition, it's like through all of this meditation, spiritual work, we burn through karma, which to me is energetic density, which is like the shit that we're carrying from past projections of pain and density that of an enslaved humanity, which now we're rising above because we're suddenly like, remember who you are. Oh, yes. We're having an awakening. Oh, yes. This is the only reason why most of us ever incarnated in human form, was to have the experience of being the creator of your reality and remembering your divine heritage is fucking badass. It makes life way more fun. We are the proof of the Buddha, and we are the teachers by being the example, right? Mommy who doesn't dare to drink beer, why doesn't have a fancy car? Because he woke up. I know, right? We are much happier for it. I've been going through the same as well. I finally just stopped as others' bad behavior. I know. Like, and some people might think, what are you even saying? Like, why would you do? I know, I don't know. It's like almost coming out of a vortex being like, what was that? As in, yeah, we just go, oh, you're behaving quite shit, or your behavior is not lining up with what you're saying. So yeah, we don't need to make excuses. We just stay focused on our positive, good, aligned behavior. And if it's coming from the truth, people can make us feel bad for it, but that's more about their shitty vibes than our actual vibes. Like literally, I'm happier than ever. And in this last cycle, I have had people be like, "You're never gonna be happy. You're never gonna fulfill your dreams." I'm like, I am happy, and actually, I'm living my dreams like fully right now. No, you're not. And I'm like, yeah, I maybe we shouldn't be friends anymore because what you're saying to me doesn't align with how I feel is the truth. So like, what we're gonna do about that? I guess I'll just choose my truth. Ba ba, beautiful sheep. I hope my happiness, love, and creativity inspire other sheeple to wake up. I know you guys. Of course they will. Remember when I told you that I met someone about a month? Yes, 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 yes. And yes, I do remember that truth kindness. Did you guys meet up? Did you bump into him again? Did you get to go and say him or her? Did you get to go and say hello? Do tell, do tell, you guys. We're all like hooked at our seats here, finding out. So truth kindness weeks ago was like, yeah, I met somebody, yeah, but my intuition was like, you should go talk to them. But we didn't. Now we all have that situation as well, don't we? Truth kindness, where it was like, where we don't follow through on the intuition. Here's what happened. I haven't met him again yet, but I made a Facebook post asking if anyone knew him, and after 2 weeks, people just said some vague descriptions. I live in a small town, so it could be that he appears. I love it. That's like how my mom was when she said that tarot cards are satanic. Oh God, I know. Well, yeah, but I've had trolls on my page calling me like Satan's child and like, what are you speaking, Satan's spawn? I'm like, try to be a good person. I've never killed anyone, and like mostly peaceful and joyful and happy, and like sometimes I can be in a bad mood, but you know, I do my best. LOL. And so no one really said anything substantial. So I offered $20 to anyone who knows his last name, and they banned me. Oh. Girl. Oh well. Who cares? Also though, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. This is the thing, you guys, is like, I'm just increasingly good at just letting shit go. I'm like, literally, if people want to show up and be honest and be vulnerable and be real and consistent, they do. This was happening. I'm showing up for myself. There are people in my reality showing up consistently in integrity, which feels aligned because I'm in integrity. And then there's other people who are maybe not quite in the integrity, who it feels all kind of like, what the fuck? And so I'm just like, no. You know, there's work, inner work. It's clear. It's obvious. There's lots of teachers out there. You can either deny your shit and put it on other people, or own it, transform it, and rise. It's pretty effing simple. And if you're not doing the work, our vibrational fields will not be able to bounce together because they'll be too different. I hope you meet again. If it's meant to be, you'll meet again. And if not, you'll meet someone else who your intuition is like, and you're like, yeah, hey buddy, what's going on? And I feel that, but then mine right now, I'm kind of jumping out of one life challenge and looking at more the worth stuff and the money stuff, and I'm looking at patterns of like giving a whole bunch away and realizing, ugh, I can't do that anymore. You know, it's like knowing, like, it's so fun doing, being all this. I'm like, ugh, God, no. People think that way because they want all the shiny happiness and they want to feel good. But I'm like, well, yeah, but there's a huge amount of discipline that goes along with this, and often solitude and introspection that it would appear a lot of people don't have the patience for, don't want to have to introspect, don't want to have to sit and feel, right? And so some of us are doing it further, but you're like, God damn you should be paying me for all this. One day it will. One day where all this energy work is basically gonna bottom out the world economy, because the world economy is based on illusion of fear. So our inner work is basically transforming the world economy so that we live in a healthy and fluid economy, and eventually we need not currency, because our energetic alignment is the truth of our benevolence. Does that make sense to you guys? Guys, it's been 45 minutes this morning. I just wanted to say hey, basically, but then I also wanted to go live because I haven't had like super chats with you guys in a few days, because I've been doing the live but not live, because sometimes it's just clear that there's like a transmission that needs to come through, and then that's reflected back actually, because some of you guys in your comments are like, meh, resonating, really need to hear that. So I'm like, okay, cool. So sometimes those transmissions need the clarity to come through in quite a pointed way, and then other times it's just like, oh, hello community of love, community of really gritty love. The gritty kind that isn't any bullshit and is a little bit like, you know, what's going on? Nobody really knows, you guys. Just do your best to love yourself and everything will work out somehow. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's been fantastic to talk to you guys this morning. It's really boosted my day. I love you loads. Have a joyous day. And don't forget, just love the shit out of yourself and don't take no shit from other people, because they got their own shit to love, right? Right. Mwah! Have an awesome day, everybody. Love you loads. Peace out, mofo lover.